One of them is a longtime member of the Texas AFL-CIO, has actually sat on the executive committee of the Texas AFL-CIO, which is the American Federation of Labor, and the Congress of Industrial Organizations, which is a labor union that essentially, Chris, and you
It's
probably...
a national level organization.
Oh, yeah, it's huge.
It's it's essentially the national labor union for the country.
It includes the teacher federations, the Teamsters, the truckers, the seafarers. Anybody involved in the labor movement is members of the AFL-CIO.
It's the umbrella organization for all of the power union groups.
Correct. Now, Texas is a right-to-work state, so you don't have to be a union member to get a job. You just have to have the skills. However, one of the opponents in the primary for the Republican nomination has been a member of the Texas AFL-CIO.
And this is for county judge, Harris County judge, a Republican that is running for Harris County judge.
Yes, who's been on the executive committee of the Texas AFL-CIO.
So he's clearly a union man.
Very much a union man, and somewhat of a successful union man, that he's been able to get collective bargaining for his union members in the city of Houston. And City of Houston is the only entity that has collective bargaining. And let me tell you why.
May I see?
Yeah.
Can you explain that? What does that mean? He got collective bargaining. First of all, what is the man? Who did it, and what did he do in the city of Houston?
Well, for years, the labor union has been moving towards collective bargaining, which collective bargaining is what they have in New York, what they have in Chicago, and what they have in Los Angeles, which means that the nurses, the Federation of Teachers, the firefighters, anybody that's unionized, steel workers, that work for a governmental entity can demand a certain salary. And let's say that the city aldermen in Chicago say, we can't afford that. We can't pay you $150,000. We can only pay you $120,000 annual salary. So they will go on strike. So this is what's happened in Chicago when they shut down the schools, you remember 2 years ago. Remember when Chicago, they closed down the hospitals when the nurses went on strike. So collective bargaining gives unions the ability to strike. Now, in Texas and in Houston, specifically, they don't allow first responders to go on strike. But they do then take their labor dispute to an arbiter. And the arbiter steps in front of the city council and the mayor and decides what the taxpayers are going to pay these employees. And that's the danger of collective bargaining. Remember, I told you earlier that New York City in 1975 filed bankruptcy because they couldn't afford what the unions were demanding. Chicago is in the same boat, $20 billion in debt. And Los Angeles County is currently $80 billion in debt.